the truth, man. It's really hard to do these things. I'm gonna be straight up with you guys. I'm over here about to go get some food. I had to just stop for a second. Too much on my thoughts. Okay, I had to stop for a second and really lay it out because I'm gonna be straight up with you. To a certain extent, I was scared. I was scared of saying the truth because of what everybody else would think. Um, and I'm gonna be straight up with you. Richard Hart revolutionized crypto. He did what nobody else was willing to do, to a point where I actually dedicated a section in my course called Pumpamentals because of the lessons that he taught on his YouTube channel. Not only that, but the same Pumpamentals was copied. There was, I would say, hundreds of projects that copied the same thing he did because of how good he put together his tokenomics, his token metrics.
All right, let's talk about a little bit about Richard Hart and Hex. You know, Richard Hart has been all over the place the last couple months. Apparently, he had to come into Miami, where he's from, because his mother was sick. So he did all the big interviews. He was on Fresh and Fit. He was on, I mean, all those little podcasts out of Miami, the Sauce podcast, the Fresh and Fit. You know, all those big ones. He did all of them. And the guy's absolutely hilarious. He's absolutely entertaining as hell. The guy's smart. And I've been following this guy for the last year, at least like following him loosely on YouTube. Known about the guy since 2017. Just thought he was kind of like a crazy guru guy. Never really knew much about Hex. I just kind of like, okay, whatever. This guy's here. He's a very good debater. He's very smart. But was he a scammer? Is he a scammer? I really didn't know. I really didn't care. But lately, at least over the last 6 months, actually probably the last year, I've been just listening to what this guy's had to say. He called the top on Bitcoin. He said we're going down to 12K. He basically talks about the 80% bubbles, that everything goes down 90%. He created this coin called Hex Coin, which I don't know much about. And honestly, when it comes down to these little altcoins, it really doesn't even matter. The fact of the matter is, Richard Hart holds the majority of the Hex coins. If he wants to dump Hex, all he has to do is sell his stake. But it doesn't sound like that's what he wants to do. It sounds like he wants to basically hold for at least the next couple of years going into the next bull market. And if he does that, you're probably going to see, you know, a 20, 30x on Hex. That's just the way it is until whoever holds the majority of the Hex tokens dumps. And that person is Richard Hart. He won't admit it, but he holds most of the Hex tokens. So anyway, the guy's been on all the podcasts. He's absolutely entertaining. He gives great advice. Like, how can you go wrong with this advice right here?
So here's the magic. Here's the trick. Why do I tell you about all this? Because people want to get rich, and they want to get rich quick, and they're willing to take what they think are shortcuts, but actually aren't shortcuts. They just get you to lose all your money. Leverage trading, margin trading, any form of trading is a way to multiply the house's advantage against you. The brokers make money. The exchange makes money, the market makers make money, you get chopped up by fees or liquidated, and you lose everything.
You're gonna love my book, by the way. It's so funny. I like literally just wrote this whole. What you're saying is true.
So here's the magic. Here's the trick. Why do I tell you about all this? Because people want to get rich, and they want to get rich quick, and they're willing to take.
Anyway, so how is that bad advice? Like, people are going around saying, okay, Richard Hart's a scam artist. He's like the worst thing in the world. He's the worst thing for crypto. And I've actually been doing my research over the last couple weeks, couple months. Okay, what's going on with this Richard Hart guy? Is he a scammer? I've been a private investigator for 20 years. You know, I can usually sniff out somebody who's kind of sleazy, kind of shady. And everything he's been saying about crypto over the last 5 years, he hasn't given any bad advice. Think about Crypto Banter. Think about BitBoy Crypto, telling you to go on Celsius, telling you to buy Luna, pumping all those scam projects over the last couple years, PAMP token, UST, like just the dozens of tokens, the leverage trading on Bybit. Think how many people got wrecked. And people hold those guys, BitBoy Crypto, Crypto Banter, to a higher level than Richard Hart. Now, I kind of figured it out, why everybody hates Richard Hart. Because he's flamboyant, he's smart, he rubs his wealth in your face because he likes the attention, and he knows that generates him attention. And I think that's why he does it. I think he's at the point now where he's worth so much money. He's bought all the cars, he's had all the women, and he just kind of wants to like do something noble and actually help people. And I really think that's where he's at. There are some red flags with Richard Hart. For one, Richard Hart is not his real name. His real name, I believe, is Richard J. Schuler. Had a little bit of, from what I found, he had a little bit of legal problems like 20 years ago. Like he was into that online email marketing where they would just spam you with emails, and he was into some other weird stuff in Panama, which may or may not be true, but nothing worse than what anybody else was doing 20 years ago when they were in their 20s. I mean, the guy's a serial entrepreneur. So, okay, so he was involved in something where he wanted to sell on the internet when the internet first popped up. So he was in on basically spamming people with emails to try to get them to buy his product. Who cares? I don't really consider that to be a big deal. Like I said, he had some issues in Panama where he was involved with some bad people, but it's very shady. You can't find much on that whole situation. He was big into selling, longevity products. Like one of his hobbies seemed to be 5 or 6 years ago was longevity, like preserving human life, selling supplements, stuff like that, or looking into supplements that could extend your age or whatever. I mean, who knows? I mean, I don't know. Everything I found on the guy, I've never found anything all that shady on the guy, to be honest with you, other than him changing his name, and I guess he likes to use the name Richard Hart as his stage name. The guy could be a scam artist. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. Maybe this whole Hex thing is a giant scam. But my question is, will Hex pump in the next bull market? Okay, the great thing about a coin like Hex, for one, like I said, Richard Hart, it sounds like he owns most of the Hex. If Richard Hart dumps out, he could basically dump the price of Hex to zero. If he did do that, I don't think he's going to do it until we're well into the next bull market. Why would he do it now? We're in a bear market. It's stupid. And he didn't do it in the bull market. He could have sold Hex a year ago with like 10,000% gains. He didn't do it. So the wallet that holds most of the Hex, which most likely is his wallet, has not sold. Now, will that wallet sell in 2024 in the next bull market? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. That would be the telltale sign if Richard Hart's a scammer or not. But the question is, if you buy Hex right now at 0.040811, whatever the hell even number that is, I can't even comprehend it, down about 80% from its all-time high, I think Hex is a possible 10 to 30x. Actually, maybe more of like a 20 to 30x going into the 2024 bull run. Now, why do I say that? Like I said, Hex is just it's a shit coin. It's a shit coin as of right now. It's a low-end altcoin, and they can pump hard. But the great thing about Hex is you have this Richard Hart, who everybody seems to love. Right? I mean, you love him or you hate him, but all the freaking podcasters love him. If you love him or hate him, he's still all over the place giving these interviews. Look at the views on some of these interviews. They're in the millions. People like to hear this guy. So think what's going to happen in 2023, 2024 when we go into a bull market. He's going to be all over the internet fucking pumping this Hex. It's a guarantee. And that's why I bought a little bit of Hex today. I'm not a Hexican. I won't be surprised if Hex goes to zero, but I think Hex is going to pump, and I think it's going to pump hard. Another reason I think Hex is going to pump hard, you can't get it on the exchange. You have to have MetaMask. 90% of people in crypto don't even understand how to use MetaMask. Maybe I'll do a video later on how to use it. It's an app on your phone. You basically have to have Ethereum. You can basically swap Ethereum for all these coins that you can't get on major exchanges. Most people can't get it. So if Hex gets listed on a major exchange going into the next bull market, you're probably going to see a 50x on Hex. So anyway, is Richard Hart a scammer? That's the question everybody wants to know. I have found zero evidence. The only red flag I can really find is that he changed his name to Richard Hart. His real name is Richard Schuler. He's from Miami. And he lives in Europe most of the time. And the guy does seem to have a lot of money. I mean, he's driving around in multi-million-dollar cars, creator of Hex. He's been in crypto for a long time. You can find the videos of him debating Tonebase and all sorts of other Bitcoin maximalists 5, 6, 7 years ago. He claims to be retired for the last 20 years. He claims to have mined Bitcoin in 2013. And he's obviously a smart guy. And I just haven't found anything over the last 7 years. He's all over the internet. I haven't found one thing he said on the internet that's bad advice. I can find a dozen things BitBoy said, a dozen things Crypto Banter said, even Benjamin Cohen, Data Dash, everybody. But I haven't found one thing because he basically says, Richard Hart, not your keys, not your crypto, don't trade, don't leverage trade, and basically buy in the bear market and hold into the bull market. Simple advice. So I don't know why people hate the guy so much. What is Richard Hart? Unless I'm missing something, what has Richard Hart said or done that has made people so pissed off? And if you bought Hex, it's still around. Yeah, it's down 90%. VeChain's down 90%. Theta's down 90%. Cardano's down 90%. Ethereum was down 70, 80%. Everything's down 90%. All cryptos dump. All altcoins drop 90% in the bear market, folks. I hate to break it to you, but they all do. Look at Terra Luna that Crypto Banter was promoting for years. That's zero. Look at UST that they were all promoting. That George on Cryptos R Us was promoting. Celsius, BlockFi, Voyager. All the big YouTubers got you wrecked. They got you fucking wrecked, folks. If you followed the big YouTubers, you might have got lucky, selling in the bull market. But if you followed them to a T with the UST, the Luna, the Anchor Protocol, whatever other garbage coins, the PAMP token that BitBoy was shilling for money, the Voyager, the Celsius, there's the Bideo coin, you lost all your money. So I don't get why people hate Richard Hart so much, except for that he's kind of comes off as an asshole. He's smart, he's the smartest guy in the room. Everybody always hates the smartest guy in the room. He's pompous, he flaunts his money, and I believe he does that just to get attention. So this is the guy you're going to have pumping Hex in the bull market in 2024. Sounds good to me. Sounds good to me. Think if Charlie Lee of Litecoin was like Richard Hart. Litecoin will probably be $10,000 right now. So once we go bullish in 2023, 2024, Richard Hart is going to be all over the internet. He'll probably fly back to Miami. He'll be back on the Fresh and Fit podcast. He's going to be back on the Sauce podcast. Hell, he might even be on Joe Rogan. I like that. And I think you need a spokesman like that for your altcoin. And I think he could seriously pump Hex going into the next bull market. And once he does, get the hell out of it, sell, get out, because he might dump on you at some point. But once you're up 20 or 30x, get the hell out. And I think there's a good opportunity to make some money here. I'm not saying put a lot of money into it, maybe a few $100, $500, something like that. Wait 2 years, see what happens. But I think as of right now, there's only upside for Hex. It might go down further. It probably will go down further from here. If Bitcoin drops. But I'm talking 2 years from now, I could see a 20 to 50x on Hex, depending on how badly Richard Hart pumps it. And remember, if Richard Hart is a scammer and he owns 90% of the Hex supply, he's going to be pumping it hard in 2024. He's going to be everywhere. Sounds good to me. What's the problem with that? What other coin has a promoter like Richard Hart? The guy is loved. I'm telling you, all these podcasts love him. He will be on Joe Rogan. He's fascinating. There's videos of him picking up girls in Miami, driving his Lamborghini. He's talking to all the big wigs. This guy is a baller. He is like all over the place. And that's the guy that's going to be pumping your coin. And you can't get the coin anywhere right now except for MetaMask. So I see good things. I say there's no evidence the guy's a scammer. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. I don't see anything. I haven't seen anything. I've seen all the Richard Hart videos over the last 5 years. From 2017 to now, he hasn't said one thing I disagree with. He hasn't said one thing that would get anybody wrecked. So please leave in my comments, like and subscribe. Why does everybody hate Richard Hart? Why do you hate Hex? There's thousands of cryptocurrencies. Hex is just another risky altcoin. What's the problem? I get it. Richard Hart holds the majority of Hex. He can dump on you at any time. But that's the same with most altcoins. Who cares? Isn't it worth the risk, $300, $400, $500? Because you're going to have him out pumping it in 2024 going into the next bull market. And if he does turn out to be a scammer, he's going to have a lot of pissed off people after him. So I don't think he's that stupid to dump all the Hex coins on all of his followers. He'd probably get assassinated or something like that. So I don't think he is a scammer. I think he probably got into some trouble 20 years ago. He's a serial entrepreneur. I got a buddy who's a serial entrepreneur, or at least, his family is. And, there's a little bit of court cases on them because, sometimes you try to skirt the law a little bit to get things done. And I think Richard Hart's just a go-getter. And maybe he skirted the law a little bit in his past to try to get things done. But all the advice he's given on crypto, that's all the same advice I'd be giving. And I've made some videos on this in the past. Don't trade. Don't use leverage. Don't buy shit coins. Hold your keys to your coins. Don't give it to anybody else. Don't use leverage trading. Don't use lending platforms like Celsius and BlockFi. He called the Celsius and BlockFi and all these other collapses months before. He warned people not to use them. So anyway, put in my comments right now how he's a scammer. I'm not seeing it. And I think if you buy Hex, you're probably going to 30 to 50x going into 2024. So I bought some.